This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on, and welcome to Take on the World with
Yours truly, Juan.
and Mike D.
Mike D.
Johnny Juice Box in the house. What's going on, brother?
Oh, my head hurts.
Okay, mine
Look
does
at
too.
Cat hair on my face. It's annoying me.
My head hurting has nothing to do with cat hair.
I got this cat like hair thing that I saw on, I don't know, TikTok or some shit. I don't have TikTok, but you know how they kind of cross streams?
Yeah.
And I ordered it. My cat fucking hates it. But dude, I got like this huge fucking mat of hair off of him. I didn't realize how hairy he was. But he was all pissed off and screaming at me last night. And then I fucking have it. It's all over my sweatshirt. It kind of transferred to this one. I don't know. Whatever.
So, the episode that went up this past Thursday for us in live time, it'll be
this is glorious.
It'll be like 4 months ago or 4 weeks ago because I still have two in the bag.
2 in a sack.
If you go back and watch it, it's what was the episode? The 27 Club.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the 27 Club, there was a little mix up in editing.
Nothing but professionalism in the editing department.
Our editor, who's really a nice guy but an idiot, sometimes forgets to hit record.
Thought it was a joke.
And so we started the show off. We were messing around a little bit, and we decided we were going to start over. And that part was not edited out, so we started the show twice. A little fun happened in the beginning.
2 attempts, I guess you should say.
Yes,
maybe
2 take Tommy. So that's out there. So if you want to laugh at us and make fun of us, go back and watch that.
Okay, so
now, do you want to introduce this topic because you sent it to me?
I did. I never heard about this,
and it's weird because we're going to get to some of the information. I had never heard about it either, but apparently it's a big thing.
Yeah, it's called the Falcon Lake Incident, and I heard it was like this is like the Canadian Roswell, but compared to Roswell, it's like 10 times better because there's actually like material evidence, and there's a witness, and that witness was injured.
Yes.
So,
however, because I'm a skeptic, I looked up the skeptics' view of this incident.
Okay.
And we'll cover that at the end. And
Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot.
You know what?
it was Bigfoot's Bigfoot mobile.
Case solved. Turn it off. We're done. End of story.
No. Now I don't know.
It's Bigfoot and Elvis was walking next to him, singing Blue Christmas.
The skeptic stuff. I don't know. I don't know how true any of it is, but there's some evidence to say that his story was not proper.
True.
Although his son had wrote a book based on his father's story, and he said, my father didn't make this up. So we'll give you both sides by the end of this. So.
I would say, like, why would you want to make something like that up? What are you going to gain?
Well, that's what his son said. What would he have to gain?
Yeah, like just people calling you crazy.
But the skeptics have an explanation for that too. So,
Of course they do.
of course, well, every side has their argument. So we're going to give both sides. If nothing else, we're fair here. We're very opinionated, but we're fair.
On little side note here,
Chugging down the track.
I completely wasted like an hour and a half of my precious time listening to. You look at these things on YouTube, and the ad for them looks pretty deep. Oh, that's cool. It's got like a cool picture on it, and it was sleeping the 3 nights at Bluff Creek. Now, Bluff Creek was where that Patterson Gimlin film allegedly of the Bigfoot.
Okay.
Or a lot of people think it was just a man in an ape suit, which it's another story. But
that if you want to hear about that, go back and watch episode 1 of Take on the World.
No, on second note, don't, because
the sound was horrible.
The sound was horrible. Like, were you guys? Are you in a hurricane right now? Like, what was that?
We were so new to it,
and
we should go back and redo those first like 30 episodes.
I think we should. I think they'd be a lot better. But some of the content was like, we can't.
No, you can't get that content back.
So anyways, I wasted an hour and a half of my time watching this fucktard hike through the woods, and he would stop every once in a while and he'd bark like a dog, and then he would talk about Bigfoot, and then he stopped into the store, and the lady told him that, oh, you're hiking the fire trails now. That's what they love to see, them Bigfoots. Them Bigfoots love them trails. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. So I shut it off. And now I'm starting to question my theories on Bigfoot.
Oh, that would be a good episode to go back and do then, because you when we did that were like you actually did research for that one.
I did like fucking 4 pages of research, which is very not me.
I still have all my research on every episode we've done.
Yeah, I don't have that. That was all handwritten.
Yeah, mine wasn't. Actually, I think that was. Well, no, I typed it and printed it out.
But I could still rattle off a bunch of shit.
I know
I've
you
been doing it because
Bigfoot's your thing.
Yeah, and then I feel like I was into Bigfoot before Bigfoot got all like with the bumper stickers.
Yeah,
and like it just kind of got like super popular.
Well, let's do a Bigfoot redux.
Okay, but I don't know. I still kind of like think, but why? Why can nobody get a picture of this motherfucker?
Well, that was my argument when we did the episode.
Like, every time you don't go anywhere without your phone or anything, and it's like, I just did by chance didn't have my phone on me or didn't have a camera, or if they do, it's like this grainy ass picture of this thing in the woods. You're like, see that? Look, there he is. And you're like, what the fuck is it? It could be anything. It could be, I don't know. So anyways, yeah, I think we should redo that.
Yeah, that's a plan. So looking forward to a Bigfoot redux. But
Bigfoot
this one,
redux.
The Falcon Lake, it's Falcon Lake in
Manitoba.
It's Manitoba. What was the hang on.
Is that British Columbia?
It's Whiteshell Provincial Park, Manitoba, Canada. It's 150 kilometers, or if your country has actually gone to the moon, it's 75 miles east of Winnipeg.
Wow. I still don't even know where. I've heard of Winnipeg. Don't know where that is.
The Winnipeg Jets, dude.
What province is it?
Manitoba.
Manitoba's a province?
Isn't it? Yeah. Now you got me questioning.
I don't know.
Let's just say it
sounds
is.
a little sussy.
Let's just say it is. So Stefan Michalak was prospecting for quartz and silver. Why would you prospect for quartz? Like, I could find quartz in my backyard.
Yeah, but is it that like when you crack open one of them big like rocks,
the geodes?
The geodes, maybe it's that.
I don't know.
Those things are cool, man. If you get a big one, they're worth a lot of money.
I got one on the front porch.
Yeah.
We haven't cracked it open yet.
We should try it.
We have one that we did crack open, and then there's one out in the front porch we didn't crack open. Anyway, so he was out Prospect. This is May 20th, 1967. So that would explain why there was no pictures this time.
Yeah.
Unlike Bigfoot sightings now. So he had some claims up there that he had gotten the prior year. And he set out to go up to those claims and explore further. And he was near a vein of quartz, and I'm not even pronounce that, dude.
Where are you at?
Precambrian shield? That's what it
That
is.
sounds good.
That yeah, actually.
Precambrian.
Yeah, that's a dinosaur term.
Huh.
So he was walking along, walking along, and this gaggle of geese scared the shit out of him.
Gaggle of geese.
He witnessed two cigar-shaped objects with a reddish glow hovering about 45 meters away.
Well, I will say this. In my research of alien stuffs, and how do people get no, I'm not saying he's wrong, but like I would say like something like other incidences, they're like, the thing was like 2 miles wide. I'm like, huh, what? I'm like, first off, what's your frame of reference against a one-colored sky? Other than, holy shit, that thing's huge. You know, I don't know. Anyways, so I think it would be like, it could be fucking 5 times that size.
Right.
Or if he thinks it's 45 meters away, it could be like, I don't know.
So one of the objects descended and landed on a flat section of rock. And he said it took more of a disc shape when it landed.
Alien got out and said, surprise, motherfucker.
And the other one remained airborne.
Oh.
Now, he didn't think it was a UFO. He never once, according to this story, never once said he thought it was a UFO.
Right.
He believed it was a U.S. military experimental aircraft.
Okay.
And so he got out a pen and paper and he sketched it. And I'm going to throw the sketch up. And he's got notes on the sketch. Here, I'll pull it up for us so we can look at it here.
I was trying to read the handwriting on it, but
It's
a cursive, and I'm terrible at reading cursive.
It's very hard to read the handwriting. I'm going to bring it over here. I did make some of it out, but that's a sketch. And he's got...
See, 3.5 to 4 feet something.
But he's using feet, and he's in Manitoba.
Yeah, you know, I never understood that. England does that too. Like some things are still in miles and feet, miles per hour they use too.
I don't know.
But it's whatever.
But that's a sketch. And we can look at that more later. So he sketched it up. As he approached it, he got closer and he felt the air was warm. He smelled sulfur and heard like this whirling sound, motors hissing of air. He noted that the door opened on the side and bright lights inside and heard muffled voices from the craft. And he's still thinking this is an experimental aircraft.
See right there. Now that gives this story to me a lot more. Wow. More credibility than if he was like, yep, that's a UFO for sure. Like, so already he seems skeptical. Like he's not really thinking. He's not a fucking UFO, hunter or something.
Right.
Sounds like a reasonable, rational man. It's like, holy crap, that's fucking scary. That's kind of U.S. Secret weapon or something.
So when he went up to it, he called out. He was a mechanic, and he wanted to offer because he thought maybe they had mechanical problems, and he wanted to offer mechanical help to the Yankee boys.
Okay.
That's quoted. So he called out in English, and then he called out in his native Polish, and then in Russian, and then finally in German.
Damn, how many languages does this guy know?
Well, most people from Europe speak several languages.
I can barely grasp the English language.
Truth. I have such a hard time pronouncing anything that's not English, and many things that are English.
Like that, what was that? The Heiner Flechter Schnitzel murders?
Hinterkaifeck.
Oh my God. That was just a travesty. We butchered that whole episode.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry if anybody who speaks German and watched that.
And that one will be coming out next Thursday, which would be 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Excuse me. Despite calling out in several languages, he received no response except for the sounds from the craft itself. He observed the smooth metal ship with no seams, saw various colors flashing from inside. Now, this is where I get like, okay, you said the door open, you saw figures come out, you heard voices. Well, now you're right up on the ship. Because he reached out and attempted to touch the craft, and it melted the fingertips of his gloves, and he got burns on his hands. Mm-hmm. As the craft began to turn counterclockwise, see,
Quack.
English is not my first language.
Quackwise.
He was struck in the chest by a heavy air blast or gas that pushed him backwards and set his shirt and his cap ablaze. Now, I also have a picture of his burnt shirt that was taken in evidence during the investigation. Yeah. I'm going to throw that up here.
Now, this is the shocking part for me is because usually everybody reports that has a UFO sighting, they say they make no sound whatsoever.
Right.
They're and then when you see them on like the Tic Tac videos, and they put it in infrared and whatever, the heat signature, it gives off zero heat signature.
Yeah, it's like a cool blue.
Right. And then they're like, well, what's propelling this thing? Usually, like, our traditional thing is you burn something and shoot it out the back, and that propels you forward. So there's some kind of heat signature. So,
but even if you don't have that, if you're using like some sort of air propeller, mm-hmm. there's heat signature from the motor.
Right. Yeah. Just from it being warm, like a radiator.
Yeah.
But, so I was wondering, I'm like, is this like an older technology?
Well, this is 1967.
Could it be older alien technology? And they've advanced since then?
Well, at this point, he's still not saying it's alien.
Right.
So I'm going to pause for a second here. And I want to talk about the Deluxe Edition Network real quick, because we didn't do it at the very beginning.
No, we did not.
So we are a proud part of Deluxe Edition Network. I love being in a network with these guys. It's about 30 some podcasters all on the same network, help each other out. We have guests on from other networks. They have us on from the other networks. Just a great group of guys working together. And if you want to see what they have to offer, go to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And every month they have Spotlight Podcast. And if you take a second and you go to the website, click on Spotlight Podcast, you will see that these are the two Spotlight podcasts for this month. Drink O'Clock Podcast. They interview anyone and talk about anything that they find interesting. Drinks will be involved and shenanigans may be had. Quad Pro Quo Podcast is a weekly film podcast inspired by the quid pro quo scene in Silence of the Lambs, hosted by two couples who happen to be friends and live next door to each other. The new episodes drop every Thursday, and you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you check them out. The Stephen Crypto Show podcast is a Rondo Award-nominated podcast that covers pop culture, horror, featuring great interviews, conversations, special guest segments with creators, entertainments from all mediums, while keeping a sense of humor. Go to coffeebros.com and use TOTW10 for a discount at checkout. Monday mornings, the arch nemesis of productivity. But fear not, dear office warriors, for we've got some tips to help you survive the dread Monday blues.
We have sort of a problem here.
Now, some folks might reach for a little liquid courage to get through the day, but let's face it, that's not exactly workplace approved. And we all know HR isn't a fan of the Monday Merlot technique. Then there's the classic angry walk. You know, the power stomp through the cubicles, making enemies out of innocent plants and office furniture. Sure, it's a way to blow off steam, but HR might have a thing or two to say about your newfound reputation as the Monday Mauler. But fear not, there's a better way to tackle Mondays. Enter Coffee Brothers Coffee. That's right, folks. Instead of drowning your sorrows in spirits or terrorizing your coworkers with your Hulk-like rage, why not opt for a simple pleasure of a cup of Coffee Brothers Coffee? The socially acceptable way to tackle Mondays without the HR headache. So grab a cup, take a sip, and conquer the day, one delicious drop at a time. Coffee Brothers sources seasonal, award-winning, and specialty coffees, focusing on high-scoring and high-quality blends, espresso roasts, and single-origin coffees, which are all small-batch roasted. Experience complex taste notes from fragrant and aromatic to bold and rich. Coffee Brothers Coffee is a two-person brother team, hence the name. They roast all of their coffees in small batches out of their New York City roastery. Go to coffeebros.com and use TOTW10 for a discount at checkout. And we're back. Now
Should we do the intro again?
No, we're not doing that again. Now we're back to the meat and taters. He was after the whole. He got blown back. His shirt got burnt. His hat got burnt. He's disoriented. He's got burns on his chest. He's nauseous. He stumbles through the forest. He vomited, and eventually made his way back to his motel room in Falcon Lake. He caught a bus back to Winnipeg. He was treated at the hospital for burns on his chest, stomach, and later turned into raised sores in a grid-like pattern. And you can see that grid-like pattern on the burns on the t-shirt.
You know what this sounds like?
A radiator.
Radiation poisoning.
Additionally, he suffered from diarrhea, headaches, blackouts, and weight loss for weeks afterwards. That sounds much like radiation poisoning.
Yeah. When you say the grid-like pattern, like, you know, when you watch old videos of the first atomic bombing in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and you see, like, it looks like crosshatch patterns. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
But here's the grid-like pattern on the shirt.
No, that looks a little different.
And it kind of looks like an impression of something rectangular.
Looks like an iron.
Well, it doesn't go up to a point unless it's a flat, like, rectangular iron.
You know, but I don't think they had that kind of iron back then because the holes were like for steam to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ironed my wife beater. No big deal. Burnt the shit up out of it.
Yeah. So the aftermath of this.
You ever been burned with an iron?
No.
My sister burned.
I mean, I've touched my fingertip on an iron, but I never got burned with an iron.
Me and my sister got into a fight. She burned me with the iron. Fucking left a huge fucking thing on my arm. So, you know, words of advice: don't ever pick a fight with your sister if she's ironing a shirt.
Good advice. Good advice.
Or any woman, for that matter.
So once the story got out, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Air Force, the media, various government agencies, and hordes of gawking members of the public descended on Stefan's Small River Heights bungalow in Winnipeg. They showed up at his house. They wanted to know what was going on. And the list of agencies, I have them here. I thought I had them.
Gawking members of the public. So nosy.
Yeah.
Just leave the guy alone. He's all just got out of the hospital, and you gonna start harassing somebody?
So the Canadian authorities that investigated this, I wonder if it's on here. Because when I put it in the bullet format is condensed.
Whoa. That's a lot of information, bro.
I know. Yeah, it's on here, so we'll get to it. Under the intense investigation. Okie dokie. Back to this. So there was a lot of criticism. People condemned him for, I guess, being a kook. They questioned his sanity. His son got bullied in school. But he never backed away from the story. He said, look, he never claimed to have seen aliens, and he considered it a secret military craft. Like what's so hard about that to believe?
Yeah. Do you really think he went through all the trouble to like do whatever it is he would have done to have all those health problems?
I don't know.
Like sucking on a piece of ore or something, some radioactive field. I'll show them.
Yeah, he was carrying around that glass from the blast site.
Yeah, the trinitite.
Stefan believed that he never should have disclosed the incident, but I believe he was former military, and he felt it was his duty to be truthful and honest about what he saw, and it was his duty to come forward and tell the authorities of what happened. So when he did that, he's thinking, man, I should have never done this. It just, my whole life's in an upheaval. And he said he considered it a duty to warn others about potential harm.
Sure. You know, I don't understand what the big deal is about if you did see something in the sky that was odd and you say something like, you listen to like all those FAA towers from like airports, and like the one was, I remember they were saying, did you guys see, they're all communicating from like the mechanics bay to the tower to pilots, and they're like, we saw something. Like, yeah, we saw it too. And the pilot goes on, he's like, come on, really? He's like, even, you know, don't do that. And he's like, even if I did see something, I wouldn't admit to it. And I just always wonder, like, why wouldn't we want to know? Like, people just like choose to like, no, it's not. No, it's nothing. You can't handle it. I don't know. Well, I would like to know.
So many people believe that we're alone in the universe.
Yeah, I find that impossible, improbable, and downright ludicrous. But I digress.
His story remained consistent over the years. Despite probing from authorities, there was nothing that has flawed his story, according to his son. What was his son's name? We're getting there. He entertained the possibility of it being otherworldly, but empathized with the lack of specific evidence. As an aviation enthusiast,
The restart button.
and I was looking at the word. I'm like, what is that word? I know the word, but I can't get it out. As an aviation enthusiast, he noted the absence of similar technology at the time. So his son was like, okay, maybe it was otherworldly. I don't know. But if you look at it, what he described, there's nothing like that in the sky right now.
Right.
Man-made.
Well, listen, I know even if this happened in the 60s, I would say from the inception of the first ever recorded UFO to current, they all consistently say cigar shape, that saucer, or that same we showed the picture.
Yeah.
They all look the freaking same. So, and then sometimes you have like the sphere or the triangle. So there's like maybe like, we'll say 5 to 6 of different shaped objects. But,
yeah.
I mean, I can't believe everybody would just get to think the same thing. Well, it's cigar shaped.
Well, I'm wondering
It's
if they use that description because that's what they've heard before. Do you know what I mean? It could be, well, they said it was a cigar shape, so okay, that's what it was.
I don't know. Maybe.
I honestly, I don't know. I not discounting what he said he saw. I'm just saying that
I would just think
the brain works in mysterious ways.
If you're going to come up with a Whopper, why a cigar shape? I mean, you think you come up with something a little more interesting than that?
Well, that's how it's been pictated in movies over the years too.
I don't know. Why not like a flying animal or something? It was a dragon. I don't know.
It was shaped like a penis.
It's like shaped like something that doesn't fly very well. It's like a piece. That was a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Or if you watch the movie Nope, the spaceship looks like a huge vagina.
Very aerodynamic.
Despite wishing he hadn't said anything, he maintained his stance on the encounter until his death in 1999 at the age of 83.
So he didn't even waver. He wasn't on his deathbed and said, yeah, you know what? I made the whole thing up.
Nope, no wavering. So the incident was, it's actually known as one of the most investigated UFO sightings in Canadian history. And it's one of the, one of the most known sightings around the world.
So
like you said, it's the Roswell of Canada.
Right. I don't want to jump ahead here.
Oh, okay, you always do.
Give it away.
Give it away now.
I want to say, no, I'll wait. I'll wait.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to give it away.
Go ahead. I'm used to it.
But I caught myself this time.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't.
I was going to say, so to me, it seems like, and when this shit happens in the States, they have the government, like Roswell, they admitted to it. It went in the paper. Then the very next day, they're like, oh, yeah, we lied. Sorry, it was a big misunderstanding. It was a weather balloon. Okay. Really? It's always a weather balloon, swamp gas. Like bullshit. I'm not fucking stupid.
Johnny was just there and took a dump. Whatever.
Yeah. And so it seems to me like the Canadian government like doubled down and didn't make up excuses.
I don't know what was released in the papers.
Like they didn't have no interest in, like, to me that always seems like when the government says and the military says, yeah, it did happen, it was something weird that crashed, there was debris, and then the very next day they're like, oh shit, we were just kidding.
Oops.
Yeah, it was some
My bad.
highly scientific weather balloon. Okay.
So the Falcon Lake incident underwent a thorough investigation by various levels of the government. The Canadian authorities involved in the investigation include the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Royal Canadian Air Force, Department of Health, the Department of National Defense. American authorities, including the Aerial Phenomenon Research Organization, United States Air Force, also participated in the investigation. The incident was scrutinized as part of the Condon Committee, a research project funded by the United States Air Force. Despite rigorous examination, official conclusion, including that of the United States Air Force, was that it remained unexplained.
Oh, it wasn't swamp gas? It wasn't some deer farts?
Could have been.
Deer farts are freaking vicious, man. You ever have your wife beater spontaneously burst into flames when you're out deer hunting?
Oh my God, that deer farted on me. The media dubbed it Canada's best documented UFO case by CBS News and the world's most documented UFO sighting by Atlas Obscura.
I don't know what that means.
And there was something else.
Probably like some kind of PBS or.
I think it was on Unsolved Mysteries too.
Oh God.
You know, I'm pretty sure it was on Unsolved Mysteries.
How many times? Well, you're older than I am, but that show used to freak me out as a kid.
I used to love watching that show.
I did too, but
I used
Robert Stack and the theme music.
I used to laugh at the people who actually believe this stuff.
Well, a lot of it was just missing people.
Yeah.
You discredit that?
Missing people? No. I discredited the UFO stuff.
Yeah. You know,
I'm a skeptic. So I, until the day I see it.
Listen, I believe there's going to be disclosure one day. I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, wait, can you honestly just sit there and say, there's no other intelligent life forms in this existence that we cannot understand?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that they haven't visited Earth.
I think they have. I think they were here before us. I think they're still here. And I think they're the reason why we haven't blown ourselves off the face of this freaking, or blown this planet up.
Mm. You talking about the Anunnaki?
No. I'm talking about like the legit, like, evidence they have over military bases where they're like, holy crap, there's something in our airspace, and they have it on radar. They don't know what it is. It's moving in and out. It's really fast, and it shuts down their whole system. This was reported in the U.S.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Russia, China.
Yeah, they all have the same thing.
Great Britain.
It's like, and they're like, these things aren't designed to just power down, or have a mind of their own.
It was military bases and nuclear power plants.
Yeah. So how do you explain that? Small gas?
I can't explain it. There is many things that are unexplained.
Fat guy dropped his turkey sandwich on the keyboard.
That pretty well could be.
Oh, damn mayonnaise.
Oh shit! I spilled my beer.
Should have got extra mayo on that sandwich. Try to wipe it off, and he just, how you do that with your phone? You hit some button and like, how did I get on this screen? I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Same with your computer. I'm like, what is this?
The evidence recovered, items retrieved from the encounter at the site include Stefan's glove, shirt, and some tools. These items underwent extensive analysis by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Crime Lab.
The Mounties.
The Mounties. And
I know a Mountie.
No definitive cause for the burns could be determined. Do you?
Mm-hmm. Dude's a beast. Nicest guy in the world.
I told you I had two interactions with the Mounties.
Did you?
Yeah. We ordered stuff from somebody in Canada once on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come. And we contacted eBay and they said, yeah, we've had a lot of issues with that seller. We're recommending everybody call the Mounties. So we contacted the Mounties and they put us in the pool of investigation. And then when I was buying and reselling stuff, and I bought there's a bunch of sunglasses, and I'm reselling them. And the Mounties and the FBI called me.
No shit.
Apparently they were not legit.
It's like knockoffs.
And they wanted me to like give up. I said, well, they're all sold. I don't have them anymore. Like I had no idea.
Huh.
Nothing ever came of it, but they pick up my phone. They said, this is Chief Mountie blogger. I don't know.
Huh. I wonder what they'd be the equivalent of in the States. State troopers?
Probably
Texas Rangers?
More. They like some kind of, I think they're countrywide. So like I don't want to say the FBI because they're more of a police force. Like a national police.
Yeah.
Which we don't really have.
I wanted to say, I think they were like the equivalent of the state troopers, but they probably have more. Well, they do like.
Well, they don't have jurisdictions then, like the state troopers, but they can go across.
Right, but
provincial lines.
Yeah, I guess that's not a very good. Maybe like the marshals.
Yeah, maybe like that, but
I don't know. It's not that like the marshals usually go after people though, like wanted people.
Like the marshals, but their job is expanded.
All this information I just gave probably is
Completely wrong.
100% wrong. Mars, yeah, we don't do that. What are you talking about? Well, if you want correct information, you come to the wrong spot.
At the landing site, excuse me, at the landing site, a circle of approximately 15 feet in diameter was found, devoid of moss and vegetation. Soil samples, along with samples of the clothing, were tested. They all tested highly radioactive.
That's strange.
Pieces of metal chipped out of cracks in the rocks about a year later from the incident were also found to be radioactive and melted into the cracks. So immense amount of heat.
Yeah. You know what this kind of reminds me of? There was a UFO incident in, I think it was Maine, somewhere on the East Coast. And maybe like 2, 3, 4 people saw it, but it was this same shaped thing hovering over the water, and it was spewing out like, it looked like, I think the guy said it looked like either fireworks or like molten hot lava, like pouring out the side of it. So to me, that sounds like it was having some kind of malfunction, and it dumped out whatever fuel it was that was messed up, and then went about its way. But yeah, they said it was over the water, and it dumped a whole bunch of shit in the water, and then it fucking took off.
It was a plasma core.
Yeah, definitely. At the 40-watt range. And yeah, they like dived the site like 40 years later, and they weren't able to find anything. I don't know what the hell you'd be looking for. But
Some kind of rock or metal.
Yeah, maybe that's what this was. It landed there and was having some kind of malfunction and opened up its door to dispose of. And this guy just happened to be there, and
it could be the aliens are flying by, and the one dude says, "Dude, I got to fart." He goes, "You're not farting in this thing." They land. They open the door. You
hear the disco music.
he busts ass outside just as the guy came up, and he got blown back by the
some alien fart.
I don't want to belittle this guy's experience, even though that's what I just did. I'm sorry. Anyway, despite all this evidence, many of the things have been lost over the years as they were transferred between authorities. And this Chris Ratowski and Stan, Stan's the son.
Okay.
Chris Ratowski and Stan retain one of the pieces of radioactive metal.
All right.
Now, those two got together and I believe wrote this book.
I wonder how radioactive it is.
I don't know. So
I'd like to ask him, like, this quite like, have you ever had the metal tested for like what kind of metal it is? And like you'll see that too. Like, so I know there's a lot of skeptics, but I feel like there's also a lot of like, even though there's like, there's minimal evidence, but when you do cut down through all the crap and sift through all the stuff and get down to the, the real evidence, a lot of that stuff they test and it's metal, and it's like, that's unusual. Like metal doesn't form like this, or it's just different. Like we don't have this type of stuff. And then, people are like, oh, you're crazy. Or it's not, that's not true. You had the testing's wrong. So I don't know. I think you're right until like it's what the hell was that freaking movie with Will Smith where the aliens like started attacking the world? Until like you see it like mass like that, and there's absolutely no hiding it or covering it up.
The one where he was all alone?
No. I don't know. He's like, "Welcome to Earth," and he punches the guy in the face.
Oh, Independence Day.
Yeah. Welcome to Earth. Get my wife's name out your mouth.
So, Stefan basically suffered some health issues over the years after this happened. In 1968, including references to burns on his chest and blackouts, he had to seek further medical attention. He went to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Doctors conducted a thorough investigation, including psychiatric evaluation, which concluded that Stefan was pragmatic and not prone to fabricating stories. So now we get to the skeptic stuff. And some of this is kind of interesting because it refutes some of the claims that he made.
Okay. I just like to know, like, if I'm going to come up with a story, like, this story doesn't sound all that interesting when you put it in context. It's like he was up mining his land, looking for new prospects, whatever he was doing up there, hiking, just having a whatever. He sees this thing in the air, it lands, he goes up and touches it, and then he gets like deathly ill after that. And well, the book probably goes more into this, but what happened after it landed and he touched it? Does he not remember? Did it fly away? Was he conscious?
I don't know.
So that's something I would like to ask. So let's just say for
maybe we'll have to get the book and read it.
Yeah. So let's just say that he did. So the thing lands, he hears noise, he sees lights, goes up to it, burns his glove and his shirt. I imagine it probably knocked him on his ass.
I'm thinking when he burned his glove and his shirt, it was revving up to take off again.
Yes. And he either probably, I would say, got knocked on his ass, ran away, maybe has memory loss. That's common with these things. And the thing took off. So what you think, maybe what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops? And, enough for him to make a detailed sketch of it. And so it's not really that interesting when you think about it. It is, but it isn't. Like, so if I was going to make up a story, wouldn't you do a little bit more than that? Like, and then to have it like ruin your whole life and your son's life afterwards?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. You can never know what someone's thinking when,
right.
if they make up a story. But I'm not saying he made this up, but the skeptics are saying that there's an alternative explanation for everything in his account. They suggest that the burns are related to an accident relating to his alcohol use rather than a UFO encounter.
What?
Hold on. The critics argue that he may have fabricated the incident to conceal the true cause of his injuries and to deter competitors from prospecting his claimed sites. However, the public and media frenzy surrounding the incident attract numerous individuals to the site, contradicting the notion of dissuading competition. So, in their own skepticism, they say, well, it didn't really work if that was a goal because more people showed up. Some skeptics claim that the melted pieces of radioactive metal could have been planted there after the incident to reinforce the hoax. John B. Alexander, writer for the Journal of Scientific Exploration, suggests that some of Stefan's long-lasting effects, such as skin lesions, may have been due to an allergic reaction rather than exposure to the UFO's exhaust blast. I don't know. Like,
I think this is grasping at straws.
I think that is too.
Come on, his alcohol use.
Well, the alcohol-related explanation is up next.
Listen, I've not saying it's impossible, but I don't know, man. Maybe he was tying one on and freaking fell face first into a campfire.
I've seen it happen.
Who knows? I don't fucking. Just
that happened to Rob.
I think that this is more solid. That he didn't even say. He never said it was a UFO.
Hold on.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. Aaron Sekulich, I probably pronounced that wrong, writing for Iron Skeptic, agrees with the theory that Stefan's burns are a result of alcohol-related accident.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. And then Stefan's not the son.
No, Stefan's the father.
What was his son's name? Was it Steven?
No,
I thought you said it was Steven. Oh, my bad.
I think it's right up here.
Okay, well, that clears that up. I'm like, well, hold on. How would his son get?
I don't know. Where the heck is it?
No, we'll never find it.
It should be right here.
So, okay, so they have an explanation for his chest being burnt.
So Sekulich points out inconsistencies with Stefan's testimony regarding his interaction with the highway patrol officer, G.S.
Salatki?
Okay, Salatki, and the nature of the drinks consumed prior to the incident. Stefan claimed to be abstaining from alcohol all weekend, disputed by a bartender at the Falcon Hotel who said that Stefan had consumed at least 5 bottles of beer the night before at the alleged encounter.
Well, listen, I know the alcohol in Canada is stronger than ours. The beer, anyways. For whatever reason, they kind of neuter ours. Like, if you get like Labatt Blue, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I remember from my time in Canada. It was always like slightly stronger. But still, 5 beers? Come on. 5 bottles or 5 pints?
I don't know. 5 bottles?
5 pints might be a little different story.
Stan.
I knew it was started with an S. Stan and Stefan. That's pretty damn close.
Yes.
So, okay. I'd like to know how busy is this tavern that he went to?
I don't know.
Like, were you really counting all the beers? You got nothing else better to do? You're going to remember?
Well, the fact is that the bartender's saying he was at the bar drinking.
Right.
So he said he didn't have any alcohol, but this was the night before.
Correct.
Not the night of.
Yeah.
So, like, he may not have considered the weekend starting until he actually went up in the woods. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Plus, who's carrying bottles? It was 5 bottles. Who's carrying bottles of beer up in the woods if they're backpacking besides me?
Well, if that's all you got, and so they're suggesting he has a bit of a drinking problem.
They're saying it's not odd to see him drunk. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're suggesting. They're just saying that they think he was drunk and hurt himself. Stephen's interaction with G.A. Salatki, as reported by Salatki in his own Royal Canadian Mounted Police report, contradicts Stefan's claims, suggesting Stefan was reluctant to answer the questions despite his visible burns and possible inebriation. Okay, possible inebriation and reluctant to answer the questions because if they turned it into a UFO thing, he'd be ridiculed.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I can understand that.
Like, not only you're a drunk. What I can't think of being labeled a drunk and a kook.
Critics suggested that Stefan's claim of being a victim of a UFO-related attack could have been a tactic to deflect attention away from prospecting competition, but he never said UFO-related attack.
Right. Well, which had the completely opposite effect, which
right.
I don't know if he would have even thought that at the time. Like, I just seems so bizarre. Like, why the fuck would you draw more attention to yourself in order to keep people away? There's an angry monster on the hill. Stay away.
To scare most people. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
You and I would still go.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, the worst thing you can do.
I slept in the bed at the Lizzie Borden house.
You survived that hotel in Colorado.
Yeah.
Somebody freaking took your underwear off middle of the night.
That's not what happened.
You woke up naked and you're like, oh, we gotta go. I just think the word. I mean, maybe he did. If we'll just play devil's advocate here, and if this were the case, and he's like, well, maybe this will keep him away. But it doesn't sound like he was getting rich up there.
No.
I mean, what he was mining for silver and
Quartz. It sounded like more of a hobby.
Yeah. And, you know, I think so. He did get like lots of silver. I think anywhere he takes that, people fucking know. They're gonna know. Oh, old man Stefan found silver up there. We're gonna go up there. It's like everyone's gonna know about it. Everyone's gonna know everybody's business up there in a small town. I don't think you'd be hiding that. So I think the best thing you could do is just not draw any attention to yourself at all.
Yeah. So Stephen's son Stan shared some memories, and then 50 years after the incident, with the aid of UFOologist Chris Rotowski.
Ufologist.
UFOologist.
Ufologist.
Really?
That's how they pronounce it. Yeah, I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Ufologist. Then it shouldn't be capital letters for UFO.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I know.
They published a book together called When They Appeared, Falcon Lake, 1967, The Inside Story of a Close Encounter.
I want to read this book.
I actually do too.
I'm going to go on Amazon and buy this book.
I'll wait till you buy it and borrow it from you, which or find an audiobook, which compiled the Falcon Lake incident according to eyewitness testimony. Other books have been published regarding Stefan's alleged encounter, including George Dudding's The Falcon Lake UFO Encounter. And Stan said, if Dad hoaxed this, remember we're talking about a blue-collar industrial mechanic. If he hoaxed it, then he was a freaking genius.
Again, I beg to ask the question, why?
Yeah.
Was it just he got sure kick out of it? Just for pulling the wool? I don't know. What? Just to do it?
I don't know. So Stan said he could vividly remember when his dad came home sick and injured after something happened at Falcon Lake.
So if this were true, and then they're suggesting he went as far as to what, poison himself and check himself into the hospital, and then he had like,
well, what they were saying, he got drunk and got hurt, and he made this story up to cover being drunk and getting hurt from being drunk. But why? John, I got drunk and fell down the steps. I'm a dumbass.
Right, but that doesn't explain the what the fuck were his symptoms? It's pretty much like radiation poisoning.
Yeah, it does. Stan also,
and the fact that the stuff was radio. What was he sitting in his like? Did he get a hold of some piece of ore and like just walk around with it in his pocket?
I told you, he got that glass, and
yeah, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm working on a good one, guys. You wait to see this.
I'm gonna grow a third arm and everything."
Yeah.
It was something his family life. It put his family life in upheaval. Remains of one of the world's best known UFO encounters. This is him quoting. I recall seeing him in bed. He didn't look good at all. He looked pale and haggard. He was 9 years old at the time and was allowed to see his dad for a couple minutes a day after what would soon become known as the Falcon Lake Incident. He said there was a smell. When I walked into the bedroom, there was this huge stink in the room. It was real horrible aroma of sulfur and burnt motor. It was all around, and it was coming out of his pores. It was bad. That was his son said that. So I think the weirdest part about this whole thing is this next part.
Okay.
And you want to talk about this because you brought it up to me. I had done the research on it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, did you know?
Yeah. What was this in 2018?
Yep.
So in 2018, commemoration of the event's 50th anniversary, the Royal Canadian Mint issued a $20 non-circulating silver coin featuring the incident as part of the Canada's Unexplained Phenomena series of coins. Oh, wait, I didn't know that. So there's multiple not only this incident, there's other coins.
Oh yeah,
UFO coins.
Yeah.
So this is what I said. So America says, oh, swamp gas, weather phenomenon balloon, whatever, and then Canada doubles down. And this is what I wanted to ask you: was this actual like spendable money?
no, it was non-circulated.
Okay, so it wasn't worth.
No, it was worth $150.
Yeah, but like you could.
It was a collector coin.
Okay, so you could not like you could go and buy like a crate of eggs with it.
No,
at this grocery store, but so it's probably like a silver coin, I would imagine, or something.
Well, I have a picture of it.
So
We'll put it up.
Canada doubles down and they make a coin, a $20 coin.
And then they triple down.
Oh, where are we at here? The commemorative coin was illustrated by Joel Kimmel in line with Stefan's claims. The coin glows in the dark with beams appearing to emanate from the craft's underside, which that must be in the there must be, because that wasn't even in like glow in the dark beams or anything.
It's in the picture.
I know, but I'm saying like there's got to be like more like interviews with him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I don't know, maybe it flew away." Anyways,
well, the coin picture, and I'm going to have it up here, has the UFO coming up over a lake out of the woods, and it shows him falling backwards.
right?
And then you turn the lights out, and you just see the beams underneath it.
Yeah, that's cool. It is the first coin of its type to feature glow in the dark elements. On the front side of the coin depicts Queen Elizabeth II, while the back's illustration depicts Stefan's claim of falling to the ground from the exhaust blast in the Manitoba wilderness.
So I think that's actually the weirdest part of this whole story.
Right, yeah. That's what I love about it.
That's a great point that you made, that there are a coin collection of Canada's unexplained phenomena, which I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
And that might be a topic for a future.
I didn't know there was more than one, how do I want to say that? Collectible coins. So there's, who knows? I don't really know anything about Canadian UFO sightings.
No, I don't either. But that may be the unexplained. That doesn't mean they're all UFOs. It's unexplained phenomena. It's like it could be the Manitoba devil.
Yeah. That's awesome. So like, I feel like that even credits his story more, makes him more credible. It's like they did ridicule him, but then the government comes out and makes a fucking coin commemorating his bizarre incident.
The government investigation came up as unexplained.
Like what? Then the picture's not him like walking around in the woods with a bottle of Yukon Jack in his hand. Right? It's like
with a lighter in one hand against his shirt. No. So what do you think?
I think the coin part,
fact or fiction?
I think it's what the guy saw.
I think he saw something.
Yeah.
Wait,
hold on. Now you stopped me earlier and I said he never did say it was ever a UFO. And you're like, wait, hold a minute. Then you didn't, I thought he was going to say it and it never came up.
I thought someplace in my original research it said that he did, but I can't seem to find it.
I mean, was it they ridiculed him so much and he was like, yeah, maybe it was a UFO. I don't know. But the fact that, he said his story never changed. His story was always the same as it was from day one.
Is that over here? Is that why I can't see it over there?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I thought it said someplace that he did make that claim.
I'm just wondering if he was kind of pushed that in that direction, just out of like peer pressure and people nagging at him. And he's just like, fine. Yeah, it was a UFO. See, he is crazy. He said it was a UFO.
It might have been this line down here where I just confused it as him saying that. Right here. Critics also, that's Stefan's claim of being a UFO related attack. But as far as I know, he never said that. I'd love to talk to Stan. I'd love to talk to the son, or the other writer of the book, and
there's got to be more of this story.
There was enough to write a book. So my next step for this is I'm going to get the book or the audio book. I'm going to listen or read, and I might reach out to Stan or the other dude who wrote and see if we get an interview.
Awesome, the interview. And just, I have questions,
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make a dick out of this guy or the family or anything. And that's not at all my intention. I have other questions. I'm super curious. Like, I believe in aliens. I'll flat out say it. I'm not scared to say it.
See, and I think that's what makes it good. I'm skeptical of paranormal and whatnot, and you're not. And I think it makes us question things in a better way. Like you always try to explain to me, and I always try to explain, well, there could be here's what the explanation could be.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, like, again, when our government comes up with these ridiculous claims that it's okay. We've all seen a weather balloon, that Chinese spy balloon that flew across for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And
didn't look nothing like a UFO.
No, it looked like, guess what? A balloon. And I don't know. I don't believe the whole weather balloon story. I used to have this shirt that said it had a picture of a flying saucer on it, and it said something like government excuses of, and it went through all the like swamp gas and it had little pictures of each of the thing, all the ridiculous claims that they've made to just cover up what it might actually be. I mean, who knows? It could have been a top secret UFO or a government vehicle. I don't know. All we know is the guy got injured. His shirt got burned up. His glove got burned up. And I don't see that being, a guy going out into the woods, even if he wasn't drunk, to go party for the weekend, get fucking sloshed up, and have nobody bother him. I mean, I think he'd wake up and be like, what the fuck happened last night?
Well, I think it's absurd that even if he was drinking, it's because someone had a couple beers, all of a sudden they're not credible.
Right, yeah. I mean, I'm credible up to like at least 8.
If you drink half a case of beer, okay, your credibility might be challenged a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Falcon Lake incident. It was an interesting topic. It was fun to research. I think we're going to do a follow-up on this one for sure.
And I'd never heard of this, same as you, right?
Yeah.
I was just scrolling through some stuff on YouTube one day out of boredom, and I found this video on it. I'm like, what's this? And yeah, it was really interesting. So,
well, that's that. We took on Falcon Lake.
Manitoba.
You go take on the world.